2018 is coming to an end, but why do pump and dump schemes still plague the markets? Well, joining us to discuss this and more is Alexander Geralis, CPO of cXchange. Alexander, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me back, Jessica.
Always a pleasure. Now, we're going to jump straight in because, as with every new asset class, we obviously see some bad actors, and the crypto space has been no different to that. We're seeing that, will these issues of pump and dump schemes, will they be resolved by either a maturing market, or do we need to see regulation come into play here?
Right. Indeed, crypto's come a long way since its early days. In fact, there used to be more pump and dump schemes. But unfortunately, manipulation's always been a part of crypto, as in any market. And you might remember before ICOs, people could create a coin and then they would mine it, or they would pre-mine it and they would already have a large amount of the supply. And they would use that to pump and dump and create a profit for themselves. Now, the SEC is still not probing trading-related issues. For now, they're only looking at the founders of ICOs and if they've gone about things right and if their coin or their token is or is not a security. However, in due time, I do believe that they will get to the trading front, and we'll see that part of crypto cleaned up as well.
And almost the Wild West cleanup there as well. A lot of people do classify that actually the larger top crypto assets are actually safer in this regard. Is that something that should be kind of known to investors, that the larger the market cap, the less likely you are to be part of a pump and dump scheme and environment?
Yeah, absolutely. The larger the capitalization of a coin, the more difficult it is for bad actors to control enough of the supply to make an actionable difference. However, it doesn't mean that there aren't questions related to manipulation there, but it's not so much pump and dump. Pump and dump, in the classic sense, just like in penny stocks, they'll get a very low cap coin so that it doesn't need a lot of money coming into it to greatly increase the value. And the opposite is also true. So if a small amount of money leaves it, the value also goes down very quickly.
And something that we also need to know as well is the fact that we do have pump and dump groups on messaging platforms, which is something that is still surprising, seeing as we are in the end of 2018 now. Is that something that we think actually the social messaging platform should have more of a sense of responsibility on watching and keeping an eye on this?
Yes, they are using different chat rooms. So Telegram is probably the most common. Now Discord is becoming more common. Back in the day, they used to use WhatsApp. It doesn't really fall on the messaging service because they're just allowing people to communicate through their app. It's more about what these people are they're using it as a medium. And coming back to penny stocks, they've done this over the phone. They've done it by mail. They've done it by email. So it's not really something that the chats can or needs to worry about.
And I think what's really interesting, and a lot of people kind of ask this question, is, well, how does it get to a point that pump and dump schemes actually can take place? What is the technicalities that we do see from these kind of events?
There's different ways that they go about it. Some people were very vocal. They were advertising rooms on Twitter saying, we're a pump group, which obviously means we're a pump and dump group. They were charging some users a subscription fee just to be in here. And yeah, sometimes people would walk away with money. A lot of times people would walk away with a loss. I've heard some, let's say, Twitter influencers that, in fact, it's not just one guy. It might be 4 people, and one guy is managing the room, one guy's doing the marketing, one guy's trying to onboard new people, and another guy is sitting there trying to accumulate coins on different exchanges before they decide to pump it. So what happens is they try to get enough supply of a coin at a very low price. This can be either by setting limit orders on several exchanges and picking it up as low as possible in small amounts every day so that you're not seen, or it can be done over the counter. They can go to a miner, or they can go to an ICO and they can strike a deal with them behind closed doors. Then they will tell their group, look, this is the coin that we're going to do. It might not be so explicit. It might not be, this is a coin that we're going to pump. They might be like, this is a coin that we think is going to do really well.
Yeah.
They start buying it, so the value goes up. Often they market buy it, so they push the value up quickly enough, and that'll cause people outside of the group either to notice the volume and then come in and buy it on top of that, or these users, if it's a more explicit group, they'll go onto Twitter and different socials and they'll tell everybody, this is a great coin, and they might even throw some charts out there with good-looking, bullish technical analysis, and then the inner circle will dump, on both of these waves, and a lot of people are left losing, sometimes a lot more than they can afford.
And it does sound like quite a large-scale operation when you do break it down like that. When we look at trading activity, is this more prevalent when there are high trading volumes, or is it slower trading activity when these pump and dump issues really come to light?
I think most groups, they like to accumulate something with less trading activity, so it's not so much on the radar, and they can easily just leave their limit orders in the book and slowly collect that coin. That can be from days to weeks to months. It really depends. That being said, once a small cap gets going, it really gets going quickly. So it'll change from an inactive market to an active market very quickly.
And I think what's interesting is we've had you on before, Alex, and we've spoken about different aspects of the cryptocurrency trading world, as it were. When we look at this kind of price manipulation, how does this compare with wash trading as well, when it comes to the volume and actually the significance of what we have seen from market manipulation here?
Yes, we did speak about wash trading after that report that came out about fake volumes. Wash trading is a lot more and fake volumes or artificial volumes, it's a lot more on the side of an exchange, so in-house. And then pump and dumps, they're a lot more like a retail trader orientated. So it's two different sides of the table, but if both are taking place, then both are clearly manipulation.
Mm-hmm. And from your point of view, is there any way, when we look at the short-term future, that this kind of price market manipulation can be phased out? It can be corrected in some way, or is it just unrealistic to ever expect that price manipulation doesn't happen in this kind of market?
Yeah, as we said a little bit earlier, I think the SEC, they're moving a lot slower than some people might like, or quicker than others might like, but they will definitely get to the trading side sooner or later. And they might have the same laws that we have in stocks and other securities. That is, you cannot explicitly tell somebody what to buy. And that can be done, as simple as a disclaimer, this is not investment advice, but this is what I like. Also, you're not allowed to manage other people's money. Some groups that like Coin Signals that ran away with, a couple of million last week. You won't be able to do that anymore. But that being said, like, manipulation is always going to be there. It's always going to be part of any market. And you can see this even with banks, right? So a bank, they get called for front running a client's trades, and they make a small amount of profit, but when it's millions of dollars, sometimes we see with banks that they might get caught for some manipulation or front running client trades to get an extra profit in their book, and then they'll get a large fine. They'll pay the fine, and it'll just blow over. So, manipulation is going to be part of any market, whether you like it or not. It's just that it will be a lot cleaner and a lot less explicit than it is now.
And is it something that you mentioned, kind of the SEC making movements as well? We have seen the SEC implement some kind of crackdowns on ICOs this year, and maybe they'll move into market manipulation in 2019 a little bit heavier. Is it also something that exchanges could also get involved with, and they could also play a role in trying to neutralize this market manipulation that we are seeing, these pump and dump schemes? Is that something they could interject with, or is it out of their power?
It is kind of out of their power, because all they do is they offer someone, the trading vehicles and the trading platform to trade with other people. So it's happening outside. And a lot of times, there might be some coins that they're more easy to manipulate, and the ICO teams might be more open to giving a large chunk of their coin over the table in the hopes that maybe the value will increase and whatnot. I'll tell you what one of our clients does, cXchange. They're very careful with what kind of coins they list. So they want to meet the team, they want to read the white paper, they want to see, okay, how have they been progressing with what they said they would do. And this is at least a good effort to try and have a cleaner selection of coins on your exchange. But it doesn't mean that these things are, they're going to happen, whether you like it or not.
Sure, and that's also something that can be followed through into retail investors as well. They can read the white papers, they can look at the core team, they can get a little bit of an understanding as well. Thank you so much for your time today, Alex. It's always a pleasure to catch up. Thank you very much.
Likewise, Jessica. Have a good day ahead.
Thank you. Happy holidays. Well, that's all from myself and Alex. Let us know how you found this interview on social media at BloxLive TV.